And Alex tells me that we can get started, and we have quorum, Alex, for the business we need to conduct today?
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, then. I just, we need to let Alex, this is a little complicated. This is kind of like in CUNY, we call this high flex, or, it's part in person, part with WebEx. Faculty actually don't like this because it's hard to connect with everybody the same way. You got people here, people on screens. Alex, why don't you get it started, do the procedures so we can make this happen.
All righty. So I think one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to start with the audit and governance committees first. So Jesse Olchek, representing Robert Mujica, Director of Division of the Budget. Jesse, are you on?
I'm here, Alex.
Great. Chris Curtis, representing the Commissioner of Taxation and Finance. Chris, are you on?
Morning.
Good morning, Chris. Chairman Adams is here. That's the HFA AHC Audit Committee for SONYMA. Chairman Adams is here. Jesse is here, and Joyce Miller, I know, is here. Joyce, can you hear us? Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And then for MBBA and TSFC, we have Chairman Adams, we have Joyce, we have Jesse. Andy will not be with us, so that's for the audit committees. For the governance committees, Ken is here, Jesse is here, Chris is here. For SONYMA, Ken is here, Dave Capel, I saw Dave. Dave, can you hear us?
I'm here, Ken.
Great.
Thank you.
Jesse, I see John Ballin. John, can you hear us?
Yes. Hi. Good morning.
Hi. And Commissioner Wisnauskas, Ruthann, are you on?
I'm here.
That's the SONYMA Governance Committee. And then for MBBA, we have Chairman Adams, we have Jesse, and I think Linda Baldwin is also on. There she is. I see Linda.
I'm here.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Morning.
Okay, so that's all of the committee meetings. I just want to note that the reason we're back here as opposed to fully in person and video is that the governor signed an executive order extending the state of emergency to June 14th, thereby allowing us to continue with the pre-COVID procedures. The folks in the open meetings law with whom I spoke yesterday think that this will be further extended. So we might still have the same option for our July meeting, but we'll keep you posted. Getting a call, let's decline that. Sorry for the late notice. We had, under the old law, we thought we were going to be ready to go. So with that, Chairman, all the committees are open, and you can start with item 1 on the audit.
Great, thanks very much, Alex. And again, welcome to everybody, whether you're here in person or connecting virtually via WebEx. Item 1, the transcripts of the audit committee meetings held on April 14th, 2022 shall be deemed approved unless we have any comments from members about those transcripts. All right, hearing none, we'll do that, Alex. And then 2 is a resolution approving AHC, the AHC audited financial statement. And I think Daryl is going to present this.
Nope, that's Sonia. Should I come?
Yep, come on.
Well, you're certainly not Daryl.
No. You're good?
Sonia, that's right.
Yep, perfect. And this is Danielle, the managing partner for Ernst & Young. She led she's leading the HC audit and the single audit this year. So,
Morning.
yes. So I just wanted to mention a few financial highlights for fiscal 2022. Good news, HC remained an active and thriving corporation and continues to meet its goal of providing financial assistance to promote home ownership. As in fiscal years 2020 and 2021, in 2022, $26 million was approved as state appropriations to fund housing grants. As of March 31st, cash held by AHC amounted to $4.4 million. During fiscal 2022, AHC drew down $17.3 million in funds for disbursement to grantees and received $5 million in flood relief funds to service the Lake Ontario Homeowner Recovery Assistance Program. Last year, AHC did not receive these funds. Finally, This year, net cash provided by operating activities was 1.3 million as compared to 5.9 million used in operating expenses last year. The $7.2 million increase is primarily attributed to the $5 million that was received this year for state funds and the increase in housing grants and administrative fees. And Danielle is just going to say a few notes.
Yeah, and so just in conclusion, a few comments on the audit process. We're substantially complete with the audit at this time. A draft of the, excuse me, a draft of the financial statements was included in the package for everyone's review. But I just want to say thank you to Daryl and Sonia and their agency teams for all the support of the audit process. We got great cooperation as we went through the audit process again this year. And so, you know, as far as findings, no findings to report. We don't have any misstatements or material weaknesses, to use some audit terminology, but really just means no findings to report to the committee at this time. And expect to finish our audit completely and issue within the next week or so. And we expect to issue what are called unmodified opinions, so clean audit opinions again this year. And that's all.
Good, thank you. Sonia, quick question. I should know this frequently, but is it an annual audit of AHC? Do we do it once a year?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Good. Any questions for Sonia?
Well, that's a good audit.
That's
Now before the audit committee of AHC is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item. Assuming the person second previously entered the AHC audit committee, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried and the resolution adopted.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
Clean audit and report with nothing in it. Thank you, Sonia. Say hi to
On
Daryl.
board, Nathan.
You know, Alex, before we go to the next item, I just want to do a shout out. I don't know who done this, Alex, and you maybe can help me, but I was reading the minutes of our last meeting last night, and I just want to commend, it's probably a team, but the people who record and transcribe and produce the minutes of the meetings, because last time we talked about some sensitive issues that are sometimes hard to capture, and I'm referring to some of the things around the fair housing discussion that we had, which was a really important discussion. Mike is smiling, knows what I'm talking about. And it's a really important, this what I'm saying now can be summarized in minutes in a nice way. But whoever did that captured the sensitivities of that issue and several other delicate financial issues. My comments, I made some comments in support of the need to fully staff some of the financial management offices of the agencies. And again, I just thought it was captured in a really appropriate way. Important for the public record that it be captured that way. But again, I want to sort of say, or what I'm trying to say is, it's not easy to do that because you're putting what we say as directors in writing for the public record, and you want to pick up on the sensitivities. And so I just wanted to commend the staff that's responsible for the minutes.
I do it.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that. I thought you had a whole team of people doing that.
Hell
So-
no.
All right, well done, Alex.
But again, thank you, appreciate those comments. But in fairness, since Ms. Gross joined the board,
Right.
I think I pay particular attention to a lot of what's going on because we want to make sure that we reflect the discussions that happen. And as I review them, and we could just put the transcription of the meeting up, and
Right.
you wouldn't be able to understand what's going on.
Right.
But as I do
That's
it,
what I mean. Yeah.
it's a lot easier because the board is active, articulate, and so, you know, it's not as hard as you think. And it's actually very interesting. So, but I appreciate your thoughts. And I do think it's important that the record reflect those discussions.
Right, no, I do too. And, you know, by the way, I don't presume to speak for Elaine, and she will have read the minutes, and she's not able to join us today because of a scheduling conflict, but, you know, I would hope that she feels the same way about the degree to which they reflect the concern that she raised. All right,
Thank you.
that was just a little bit out of order there, Alex, but I wanted to make that comment, and I didn't know
I like compliments.
I didn't know I was complimenting the man sitting to my right. That's just fine. Next, we have number 3, a resolution recommending approval of the independent auditor's report related to the audit of the scheduled expenditures of federal awards, single audit.
That's a consent item, so unless any board members have any questions, we'll go to the vote. Before the audit committee of HFA is a resolution that was transmitted in connection with this item. assuming the first and seconds previously entered for the HFA Audit Committee. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is carried, the resolution adopted.
Great, let's go to 4. An approval of the internal audit SONYMA Single Family Program Owned Real Estate Audit Report. And Hanim
Hi, good morning, everyone.
must be connected some other way. Where's Hanim? There she is.
Hi, good morning. I would have come, just I thought I will follow majority and we'll connect through WebEx. Okay, so today I'm presenting two audits, and I'm asking for your approval of the reports for these audits. First is owned real estate audit. So we conducted an examination of the accounting records and system of internal control of the agency's single-family owned real estate program as of May 31st, 2021. The owned real estates are comprised of properties that single-family program has acquired through mortgage payment default of borrowers by the way of foreclosure process. The properties are being acquired through the culmination of the process in which agency was unable to collect the borrower's delinquent mortgage payments through its intermediaries, which are the servicer banks, which resulted in foreclosure action being taken and ultimately leading to the final acquisition of the properties. Agency uses services of insurers to mitigate the potential losses. So during this review, our principal purpose was examination of the financial records and policies and procedures to verify that owned real estate properties are properly reflected in agency financial records, assure that agency's owned real estate function is being performed in compliance with established policies and procedures, that transactions are properly recorded and executed in accordance with management general and or specific authorization, and to ensure that the internal controls regarding owned real estate are in place and being adhered to. So the results are that, in our opinion, financial records and the system of internal control for audited portion of the single-family owned real estate program as of close of business May 31st, 2021, were maintained in a manner that was satisfactory to achievement of the operational goals of the program. But at the same time, we are strongly recommending to maintain the written policies and procedures in an integral and updated manner in order to successfully achieve the goals of that program. So this is the summary for the first report, and I'm asking for your approval unless you have any questions.
Thanks, Hanim. Any questions for Hanim on this internal audit report? All right, Alex.
Okay, now before the Audit Committee of SONYMA is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item, assuming the first and seconds previously entered for the SONYMA Audit Committee. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion is carried and the resolution adopted.
Thank you. Hanim, don't go away. You've got another one. Number 5, approval of the follow-up audits report.
Yes, so another report that I'm asking for your approval is a follow-up report, which is a standard process that we perform each year when we look at the reports that was issued in a previous calendar year, and we check whether recommendations and issues that we raised in previous audits were resolved. And main emphasis this year was done to information technology audit, treasury and accounting audit, and human resource audit. So the purpose was verification of implementation of our recommendations that are indicated in audit reports and were agreed upon by management, review of management compliance with established target dates and implementing our audit recommendation, and evaluation of internal controls where deemed necessary. So based on our review, we can conclude that follow-up review was successful. We determined that 9 out of 11 recommendations that were made were implemented, which is 82%. And 2 remaining items that are partially implemented, we continue to monitor that items. But generally, we are satisfied with the degree of attention to our recommendation and the implementation rate, which is quite high. So this is the summary of the follow-up report. I'm asking for your approval. If you have any questions, please ask.
Thank you again, Hanim. Any questions for Hanim on the follow-up report? Very good. Alex?
Okay, now before the audit committees of all the agencies, SONYMA, HFA, AHC, MBBA, and TSFC is the resolution transmitted in connection with the item. Assuming the first and second is previously entered for each of those agency committees, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you.
The motions are carried and the resolution adopted.
I think we're done, Alex. There's no unfinished business, so I'll ask you please for motions and seconds to adjourn each of the 5 agencies and members and directors audit committee meetings for this morning.
So assuming the first and second is previously entered for all 5 committees, all in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
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 Meetings are adjourned. The next audit committee meetings are scheduled on Thursday, September 8th at 8:30.
Terrific. We're now going to move on to governance committee meetings. And item 1, transcripts of the governance committee meetings held on April 14th. We will deem them to be approved unless there are any comments from members. All right, hearing none, that we'll go on to the next item. The following 5 items are consent items without any discussion unless committee members would like to have some discussion. And let's start with number 2, Alex. It's approval of contracts for financial services related to arbitrage rebate calculations.
So now before the governance committees of SONYMA, HFA, MBBA, and TSFC, since AHC is not a bond issuer, is a resolution transmitted in connection with this item, assuming the first and second is previously entered for the SONYMA, HFA, MBBA, and TSFC governance committees. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Carried, the resolution adopted.
Now the next item, thank you. Materials in connection with the following item were sent under separate cover. I guess not part of the board book, but it's a separate document. And this is something we talked about at a prior meeting. It's number 3, approval of a cyber insurance policy and an increase to the budget. Did anyone have a chance to take a look at that? Again, this is a follow-on from a previous discussion at an earlier meeting. Any questions for the staff on the cyber insurance policy and the increase in the budget?
Okay, now before the governance committees of SONYMA, HFA, and AHC is a resolution transmitted in connection with the item, assuming the first and second is previously entered for SONYMA, HFA, and AHC governance. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion is carried, the resolution adopted.
Number 4, approval of an amendment to the contract with CQ Roll Incorporated.
This is for HFA. Now before the governance committee of HFA is a resolution transmitted in connection with the item, assuming the first and second is previously entered for HFA governance. All in favor say aye.
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 Number 5, approval of information or IT services contractual agreements.
Now before the governance committees of HFA and SONYMA is a resolution transmitted in connection with the item, assuming the first and second is previously entered for HFA and SONYMA governance. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motions are carried, the resolution adopted.
Alex, can I just pause with a question? Why would something like IT services contracts be a matter for the governance committee as opposed to the board?
Well, you know, a while ago, and this is sort of lost its significance, a few years ago, when we moved the governance committees and the audit committee meetings to stay separate from the board, the chairman then, at the time, recommended to the board that the contract items all be moved to the governance committee, because at the time, the board meetings would get cluttered with a lot of contract stuff. And so we moved all the contracts, except, you know, something deemed really a big, would stay with the board. So the governance committee if you look, that's become sort of 99% of what the governance committee does. And now, since we do the governance committee on the same day as the board meeting, the board is in fact at least present for those items. So the significance of the shift has sort of, decreased, but that was the idea.
Well, maybe we could think about this for the future, and I'd ask you and Ruth Ann to think about it, and Betsy, but as a governance matter, if we're making decisions, for example, on procurement and contracts, and they're reviewed and voted on by the full board membership as opposed to a small committee, because we have small committees, there's a better vetting of that, right? It's sort of it's a greater, I don't know, sort of feels like it's a better way to fulfill a fiduciary responsibility. And logistically, since you've got the meetings all streamlined and coordinated, where we all meet together, we don't have that logistical, we don't have the rationale for deflecting these things to a committee that we did many years ago.
Right, I agree. Now, I agree. On the first point, though, the way that we have tried to address it is that the board does approve the procurement reports, and the procurement reports include in them all of these contracts. So that's the way we justify the board ultimately approving them.
Yeah.
But I do think that given the fact that we now do it all on the same day, there's no reason to not have the board just approve them.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll take that up.
I mean, again, just as something for you all to think about, with what ultimately the decision we have to make around what is just the best process for board oversight and the fulfillment of our fiduciary responsibilities. This is the full board, and what does it consider versus the committee and what it considers, and without that consideration for logistics because of timing of meetings that are separate, since that no longer is a reason for doing that. Okay, great. Something to think about. Let's move on to number 6, which is approval of the SONYMA Express contract with Conduit Mortgage Services.
This is solely before the governance committee of SONYMA, assuming no questions, assuming before the committee is a resolution that was transmitted in connection with the item, assuming the first and seconds for the SONYMA governance committee. All in favor, please say aye.
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 The motion is carried, the resolution adopted.
Great. The last 2 items on the agenda are information. Item 7 is an annual review of the actuarial services contract that we have with Financial Integrity Resource Management, LLC. And item number 8, a review of professional temporary staff consultant services contracts. And that's in the materials we've had for, in advance of the meeting. So there's no unfinished business. Therefore, Alex can ask for motions, or I hope he will, and seconds to adjourn each of the 5 agencies' governance committee meetings today.
Okay, assuming the first and seconds previously entered for all 5 committees, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 The motions are carried, the meetings are adjourned. The next governance committee meetings are scheduled to meet on Thursday, September 8th at 8:30 a.m.
Well, so we've taken care of audit and governance committee meetings this morning. Alex, why don't you take the necessary steps to open up our board meetings today?
Okay, so now we've done the committee, so I'd like to just do motions and seconds and a roll call for each of the boards so we know we have everybody on since we need the quorums. So I'm going to start with SONYMA. Can I have a motion to open SONYMA?
So moved, it's Ken.
Okay, and a second?
Second, John.
John?
All right, roll call. Obviously, Chairman Adams and John Fallon are here. Ruth Ann, are you on?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Dave?
Here.
Okay. Joyce? We see Joyce.
Hey, Joyce. Good morning, Joyce.
It's not unmuting. I'm here.
Oh, we heard you.
Jesse is on. Jesse?
Here.
I believe Elaine is not on, I believe. Abidan is not on. And B, I haven't heard from B. B.
Good morning, I'm here.
There you go. Great. So SONYMA is open. I'm going to ask now for motions and seconds for MBBA and TSFC. Motion to open MBBA.
So moved, it's Ken.
And a second.
Second, this is Linda.
Second.
Linda. So then Joyce, we know Joyce is on, Jesse is on, and so MBBA and TSFC are open. Let's now do the MIC. A motion to open the MIC.
So moved, Ken.
Ken is the opener today.
I'm the opener.
And a second.
Second.
Okay, Jesse said, okay. And we know we have John, we know we have Dave, and we know we have Ruthann. And now we go back to HFA. Motion to open HFA.
So moved.
Ken?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
That's B. And so we know we have Ruthann. Chris, are you still with us there?
And good morning.
Morning, Chris. Joyce, we know is on. Jesse, we know is on. Sadie is not with us today, and Judge Scoggins is not with us today. But we have quorum. So we have quorums for each of the agencies. As items are presented to each board throughout today's meetings, these motions and seconds will be used unless specific items call for a different vote, or unless any board member or director wishes to report his or her vote differently.
All right. We're going to start our meetings this morning with Ruthann's president. Ruthann, are you there?
I am. Hi, good morning, everybody, and welcome.
Hi.
We have a brief agenda this morning filled with several housekeeping items: approval for financial statements, our investment report, procurement report, approval of a few contracts, and authorizing of several grant funds. Before we get to those, I want to provide a quick overview really of just one thing. I'm excited to share with you today, sort of in lieu of me doing a verbal president's report, our Office of Research and Strategic Analysis put together a little video to celebrate the culmination of the housing plan, to help us better visualize the impact of the plan and its how it has affected the lives of thousands of families, how it's made New York better, more affordable, and more equitable. We have been working really hard over the last 5 years on this first statewide 100,000 unit affordable housing plan. The board was really instrumental in month over month approving and helping us implement that strategy that really has transformed, I think, a lot of communities across the state, as Ken has so graciously done for us over these many months and years. Town by town, village by village, community by community, these projects, they cumulatively really add up to a big impact that can be hard to see when we do them sort of month by month. So we sort of took a shot at doing a video. We're sort of experimenting with different ways to sort of talk about the work we do. So I'm going to have Simon McDonnell, who is our chief researcher and the head of the Office of Research and Strategic Analysis, is just going to say a few words, and then we're going to show 2 minutes of what's like a 6-minute video, and then we're going to email it to everyone so we don't take too much time. But we'll just do sort of a little teaser as our president's report this morning. So Simon, do I have you? Ooh, and if I don't have Simon, maybe we could just roll, what do they say? Roll the tape?
Yeah, one sec.
All right.
Bill?
Sorry, having some technical difficulties.
Simon is speaking. There we go.
Lil, do we have video? Audio? There we go. There you go. Yep, we can hear it, I think.
Okay. Can you see the video?
Land is ultimately one of the lives of over 12,000 individual efforts, each with their own considerations, challenges, and stories. Let's take a closer look at a few of these projects and see the kinds of apartment buildings, homes, and infrastructure that make up the plan. First, over the course of the housing plan, HCR has helped to refinance and rehabilitate several 2019, each year closed an $11 million HFA subsidy loan to this development to help finance capital repairs, including new roofs, parapets, and compactors, while keeping maintenance increases to a minimum. In addition to these sort of
Okay, that was 2 minutes.
Great, thank you, Lil. Sorry, the audio maybe was a little quiet there, but we'll send that out, and hopefully, folks, if you have if you can't sleep, you have a little bit of free time, take a look at it. Obviously, we're really proud of all the work that we've done. We really are so appreciative of the support the board has given us all these months over the last 5 years. So hopefully, everyone can take a look and have some shared pride in all the work we do. So I will end my president's report there for today. Thanks, Ken.
Oh, shit.
I think the boardroom is muted.
Yeah. Hernan, can you please unmute?
I list them, so I'll list them and then we'll put them to vote, Alex, right? Approval of number 2, approval of AHC's financial statements for fiscal year ending March 31st, 2022. 3 is approval of AHC's annual investment report for the fiscal year ending, same thing, March 31st, 2022. 4, approval of AHC's annual Paris filing for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2022. And 5, approval of AHC's annual procurement report and Paris filing for that for the fiscal year ending 3/31/2022. Alex, do you want to get a vote on these 5 items?
Now before the AHC members are resolutions that were transmitted in connection with the 4 items.
4, yes, all right.
So assuming the first and seconds previously entered for AHC, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay.
Aye.
The motion. Thank you. The motions are carried and the resolution is adopted.
Terrific. The next item is an HFA consent item, and it was also reviewed a few moments ago at the audit committee meeting. It's number 6, the independent auditor's report related to the audit of the schedule of expenditures of federal award single audit for the fiscal year ending, this is the federal fiscal year now, October 31st, 2021. Alex?
So now before the HFA members is a resolution transmitted in connection with the item, assuming the first and seconds previously entered for HFA. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. The next 2 items are informational. It's number 7, current agency procurements and contracts that are in the lobbying restricted period. And 8, a review of the second quarterly procurement report for the period that ended April 30th, 2022. This item is for HFA, SONYMA, AHC, MBBA, and TSFC. Now, again, informational items. Anyone have any questions about them? Hearing none, I'll continue. There being no further business for the MBBA and TSFC boards, Alex will ask for motions, please, and seconds to adjourn those meetings.
Assuming the first and seconds previously entered for MBBA and TSFC, all in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
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 The motion is carried. The meeting is adjourned. Our next MBBA and TSFC board meetings are scheduled for September 8th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Linda.
Linda, thank you. To Andy, wherever you are, we'll see you in September.
He's in St. Martin.
He's in St. Martin. I thought he was building a new football stadium for the Bills. That's another project. The next item is an item for the Mortgage Insurance Committee. It's number 9. We're going to get our friend Mike Friedman up here in a second. It's a resolution approving 100% mortgage insurance on a $2,100,000 CPC permanent first mortgage loan for a project at 350-362 State Street in downtown Rochester, Monroe County, of course. Beautiful time of year to be in Rochester, Mike. I hope you get up there to see the project sooner, at some point. What's going on?
So this project comprises the very substantial rehab of 2 buildings into 16 units of workforce housing. Although there is no regulatory agreement, the developer has agreed to set the initial rents affordable at 100% of the AMI. And I would direct the directors to Exhibit E. They'll see these are very old buildings that have been boarded up and vacant for some time. And rents in Rochester, Rochester is probably a couple of years behind Syracuse and Buffalo, but are high enough to justify the cost of unsubsidized construction. And this project is coming in at a remarkable $148,000 per unit, due largely to the acquisition cost of less than $10,000 per unit. The insured loan is $131,000 per unit, which equals 90% of the project's total development cost of $148,000 per unit. The other 10% is developer equity. And the project would break even with an 18% vacancy loss or a 45% pro forma increase in operating expenses.
Great. Questions for Mike for this Mortgage Insurance Committee item?
Mike, Dave here.
Yes.
I noticed that the LTV, the loan to value is 90%. That's outside our normal range of 80%, isn't it?
Yes. I think that the reason we were doing it is that the loan amount per unit is so small. The insured loan amount per unit is so small that we thought it was okay.
How do you feel about that, Dave?
Well, I always get a little nervous when the developer's got less skin in the game, but I'll have to defer to Mike on this.
Fair observation. Any other questions for Mike?
Okay, now before the SONYMA Mortgage Insurance Committee, this is just for the committee, is a resolution transmitted in connection with the item, assuming the first and second previously entered for the Mortgage Insurance Committee. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Great.
All right, number 10.
Motion is carried, the resolution.
Oh, pardon me. The next item requires Mortgage Insurance Committee and SONYMA board action. Mike, you're going to do this one as well. It's resolutions recommending improvement of mortgage insurance on a $13,353,000 CPC permanent first mortgage loan for a project called SHF White Cluster in the Bronx.
So this project comprises the very substantial rehabilitation of 5 existing buildings, formerly used as cluster housing, into 228 units, of which 114 will be supportive housing units. This is not an ESHI project, and it's not a New York 1515 project. 114 units will receive New York City Department of Homeless Services FEPS tenant vouchers. And FEPS stands for Family Eviction Prevention Supplement. The substantial rehab of the 5- and 6-story walk-up buildings includes replacement of all electrical, heating, hot water, and plumbing systems, new roofs, new windows, new kitchens, new appliances, new bathrooms, new flooring, interior walls and doors, and substantial facade restoration. The insured loan amount is $58,600 per unit, which equals 10% of the project's total development cost of $606,000 per unit. The project would break even with a 10% vacancy loss or with a 7% pro forma increase in operating expenses. I would direct the developers to Exhibit A. There is a new $69 million HPD capital funds loan, and there's $52 million in existing HPD debt. So altogether, there'll be $121 million of HPD debt subordinate to the $13 million CPC loan that we are insuring.
Great, thank you, Mike. Questions for Mike?
Yes, I have a question in regard to the 7% increase in operating expenses, which is apparently the maximum that this could tolerate and still break even. Given the current rate of inflation, is that a reasonable assumption?
It is. I believe it is because we're underwriting it with $9,500 in operating expenses per unit, which is a high operating expense number. More often we see operating expenses that are closer to $6,000 per unit. So I think the $9,500 per unit is a generous number. So I'm comfortable with the 7% increase. This project, for example, has $500,000 in payroll and $250,000 in management fee.
Okay, Joyce.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Other questions for Mike on this project in the Bronx?
Mike, Dave again. I noticed a kind of an interesting work around the fact that they eschew the Section 8 vouchers in order to avoid HUD requirements for relocation costs. Is the 32,000 that's proposed adequate?
I think that it is. I mean, they're getting, substantial FEPS subsidy from DHS that we're not underwriting to because there's no contract with DHS for the FEPS vouchers. But this will, provide for a substantial overhang in rents that we're not underwriting to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Any other questions for Mike on the Bronx project? Thank you, Joyce, and thank you, Dave. Let's go ahead, Alex.
Yep, now before the SONYMA Mortgage Insurance Committee and the SONYMA Board of resolutions that were transmitted in connection with the item. Assuming the first and seconds previously entered for the Mortgage Insurance Committee and for SONYMA, all in favor, please say aye.
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 The motions are carried and the resolution is adopted.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Now, wait, Mike, before you leave the stand, I have a question, which is really for anybody. This is our moment of New York State trivia. You had us a short while ago up in Rochester.
Mm-hmm.
We all know Rochester is, of course, the Flower City. Flower. When did the name change from the Flower City to the Flower City? Rochesterians in our meeting today are not allowed to answer this. Who knows the answer?
Wait, what did it change from to?
The city of Rochester has always had a nickname based on a industrial strength. So for a long time, it was the Flower City, and now it's the Flower City. What happened?
Well, now it's FLOWER, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it used to be FLOUR?
It was. Until when?
I didn't know that.
Until about the 1850s. It was the flower, as in grain, milling, flour production, just like Buffalo. Until the 1850s, there was a seed company. I don't remember the name, but a famous Rochester seed company in the late 19th century for flowers. And to promote Rochester as a great place for flowers, FLOWR, after 1850 or so, the spelling was changed to FLOWER, the spelling and the nickname that remains today. Flower to flower.
Oh.
That was for Joyce.
Is this a reminder of your days at ESD?
Oh, the fascinating things I had to learn. Yes. I always thought that was great. Flower to flower. And
I'm
it's still the flower.
feverishly Googling this, I must admit, but I can't go fast enough.
Go for it, John. You can fact check me anytime.
No, it's both there, but I can't finish the research quick enough. Sorry.
Well, thank you, my friends, for it. That was your minute of New York State trivia from yours truly. Item 11, Mortgage Insurance Fund Activity Report for May 2022. It's an informational item. Anybody have any questions? All right, Alex, I think we're done with Sunny May. You can adjourn that meeting.
Yeah, there being no further business for the Sunny May board, I'm going to ask for motions and seconds to adjourn the Sunny May meeting. Assuming the first and second previously ended for Sunny May, all in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion is carried. The meeting is adjourned. Our next Sunny May board meeting is Thursday, July 14th.
All right, coming up in a few weeks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. See you, John.
Thank you. Goodbye.
The award of
Thank
grant
you.
funds for projects that are out and about, inside and outside of New York City. Alex, this is AHC. What are we doing here?
This is Dominic's
That's what I think.
program.
Yep.
So now before AHC is a resolution that was transmitted in connection with this item. Assuming the first and second previously entered for AHC, all in favor, please say aye.
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 The motion is carried and the resolution adopted.
I don't want to put him on the spot, but I see there are 27 people in the WebEx. Dominic, you out there?
I am out
If
here.
not,
I'm out on Long Island today.
all right. Well, congratulations. How's everything going? How the project's looking to you?
AHC is looking great, as the audit confirmed earlier today at the governance committee. And staff is ready, willing, and eager to move forward with the extra $10 million in funding we got, thanks to the governor. And things are looking good.
Great. Well, thank you. Keep up the great work in regards to everybody on your terrific team.
I will. Thank you, and thank you, members. And especially
Alex, all right. Terrific. Alex, I think we need to vote on this.
Yes. Well, no, we voted on that
I'm sorry.
already, so now we're going to vote to adjourn.
Yeah.
There being no further business for HFA and AHC boards, I'm going to ask for motions and seconds to adjourn the AHC meetings and the HFA meetings. Assuming the first and second previously entered, all in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, the motions are carried. The meetings are adjourned. Our next board meetings are scheduled for Thursday, July 14th, and we will let you know what the status is in connection with live meetings or WebEx before then.
Terrific. All right,
Alex,
Ruth Ann, thanks so much.
Alex, as of now, we would be scheduled to be in person for July, right? But pending
Yes.
a.
Yes, as of now, it
I will
ends
point out that July 14th is Bastille Day, so we should appropriately sing the Marseillaise at the commencement of the meeting.
We'll have French pastries.
Lil's going to have cafe au lait and, croissant for breakfast. Thank you for that reminder, Joyce. Alex, I think that's it.
That's it.
All right, everybody. Good job. We did it in 55 minutes.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank
All right.
you.
Have a great month. See you in a few weeks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the 4th of July holiday.
Fair enough. All right.